Verbally Effective with Ina Esco is an interview-style podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, and entertainment with a Memphis focus. Each week, I'm joined by a featured guest with roots in Memphis. Verbally Effective delves into each guest's personal journey to uncover the incredible stories fueling their purpose, the highs and lows of their pursuits, and how through their passion, they are moving the culture forward. Be sure to follow Verbally Effective and Ina Esco on Instagram. Also, download the Verbally Effective podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music. Don't forget to check out the website and submit to be a guest at verballyeffective.com. Hey guys, it's Ina Esco, the host of the Verbally Effective podcast, the podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, and entertainment. And hey guys, I need you to subscribe to the pod on all streaming platforms. I'm talking about Amazon, I'm talking about Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud. If you listen to a particular platform for your podcast, I need you to hit that subscribe button. Also on YouTube as well, the Ina Esco YouTube channel. Let's get right into it. You heard one of the intersections is art, and today I have a Memphis-based artist by the name of Rodan in the building with me. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing well. It's early.
It's early. I got you in this junk early, don't it?
Yeah. It's just the life of an artist. We spend most of our nights like really late. Trying to put out projects and whatnot, but I'm glad to be here.
And that's what I was gonna say. Is that like an artist thing, you guys? What time you usually get up?
About 10. What
About
time
10?
is
That
it?
ain't bad. 10
I said get up.
bad.
I didn't say get up and do anything. I said just wake up. So
My bad. Okay, 10 o'clock. Okay, Rodan. So what part of Memphis are you from?
Born and raised in Hollywood, North Memphis.
Hollywood, North Memphis.
Yeah. Born and raised Hollywood and Chelsea.
I know what that's at.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was the old hood. Every once in a while I go back. Sometimes get my hair cut there. So yeah, it's born and bred from the North Memphis.
Okay.
North Memphis.
And what does your family dynamic look like growing up out there in North Memphis?
It was basically we were like the Black Brady Bunch.
The Black Brady Bunch. I like
three
that.
boys, 3 girls. It was 6 of us, and I was the baby.
Baby.
Yep, I was the baby. So yeah,
You was spoiled.
Very, and still am.
Okay.
As I'm told.
Okay.
Yeah. that is so true. When you say I'm spoiled, I basically had a family full of like parents. You know, I had my mom, my dad, and everybody else was older, so they doted over me. I was the last one, so yeah, I'm very spoiled. I can't get it out of me. I tried. I can't.
Okay. What was the young Rodan into?
Of course, a lot of drawing. In school when I wasn't supposed to.
Doodle.
That's normal.
Doodling.
Oh, no way, I wasn't
You
doodling.
was straight doing poetry.
Okay. Yeah. So speak of the family dynamic. Out of 6 of us, 4 naturally had the talent to draw. 4.
That's awesome.
Don't know where we got it from, but out of the 6, 4 did. I'm the only one that actually pursued it. So, and I pursued it early on. So, yeah, that was my dynamic. It was like always drawing.
Did you see like your big brother or big sister drawing and like, let me try that? Is that how you got into it?
You know, no. I think they started to show what they could do when they saw what I could do. Me being the youngest, it was like, they saw the talent because every child draws when they, you know, that's just how they express themselves. They're not taught to write. They naturally express themselves by drawing. That's just what kids do. So they sort of just started to share what they could do, seeing what I could do. I said, okay, wow.
Just running the family.
It runs in the family. It literally runs in the family. So yeah, it was. I had a great childhood growing up with my brothers and sisters, and like I say, they doted over me, and still do.
What high school did you attend?
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury.
Yep, Kingsbury. Hollywood Elementary, walked to school, then from there bus to Kingsbury Elementary, and then Kingsbury High.
Okay.
Junior high, yeah.
And what was Rodan doing over there at Kingsbury High School? What were you involved
Laying low.
in? Laying
Man, I was
low.
laying low. Yeah, I
Art
didn't do
class.
much. It we didn't really have an art class or back then. I would say I really got into art classes. We did. I'm sorry, we did. But I wasn't like active into my art. I would say between ninth grade till about the 11th grade. Really wasn't getting into my art, and then I got into it that senior year. Don't know why. Don't know why. I just kind of let it go. I would doodle a little bit here and there and there, whatever. But my senior year is really when I got into art again. But we had some great art teachers. Coach Galloway. Coach Galloway was a great guy. He literally gave me the keys to the art class and said, "Hey, I see your talent. You do whatever you need. It's here at your disposal. Here's the key." I said, "Oh wow, cool." Normally, I'm trying to get out of class and not. But he's giving me the key, and I, that really set a foundation on somebody believing in me, outside of my parents, of course. Somebody outside believing in me and what I can do, and basic supporting me in that. I was like, "Oh man, that's so cool." So
Sounded like you really wanted to nurture that gift you had.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So made the decision to go from high school to TSU for 1 year just to get that black school experience. I got it.
You wanted that HBCU.
I got it.
experience.
Yeah.
Look, you got it that
I got
1
it.
year.
I got it. Yeah. Oh man, don't remember the one. I shouldn't say this anyway, but don't remember one class. But I had a great time.
OMG. I was about to ask, what did you major in? Was it art?
No, not
studies?
I really wanted to boost my GPA up and then go to Memphis College of Art.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to do. That was the plan. It really wasn't to get into art, but I wanted to boost that up and have a good time while doing it. So
And you had a great time.
I had a great time. Oh man, yeah.
What was y'all doing over there having a great time? You remember the parties, don't you?
Every last one. Every last one. It was that experience. First time being away from home.
Yes.
Of course.
Nashville.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it was. This is not the Nashville.
That's
now,
what I was about to say. That was a
then.
different Nashville.
Yes, it was a different Nashville back then. It was considered like Memphis's little brother,
Little brother, not a big brother.
daddy at this point. Yeah, they're
Yes.
killing us. They're killing us, and I think we're getting there. But yeah, it was the first time being away from home. I had my roommate. He was from Memphis, and that kind of made things a little bit better because I had somebody to kind of relate to. Was
Right.
also from Memphis, so yeah, I had a good time at
Good
TSU.
time.
Yeah, I did.
But you came back and went to Memphis College of
And
Art
went to
immediately.
Memphis. Well, I took a year off. A year off, banked up a little money, went to work, got my grounding, and then went to Memphis College of Art. Had a great time. Had some great professors and teachers, all like-minded. It was a great time. Great time at Memphis College of Art.
Now, what would you say that you focused on specifically in Memphis College of Art? Was it a certain discipline, or you pretty much learned, the
Everything.
history to? What does that curriculum look like in Memphis College of Art?
They did have an art history class, but of course, when it comes down to the that side of it, I wasn't interested. Let me use my hands. I want to use this. I want let me use my hands, and but it was art classes, mostly like fine arts, drawing, painting. I got a quick story on painting, sculpture, all graphic design. They had a host of. They had almost anything that you wanted pertaining to art at Memphis College of Art. But I was like, I just want to touch everything, just kind of get an idea on what's gonna really float my boat and make me say, hey, this is what I want to do.
And what did you lean towards?
Drawing,
Okay.
purely drawing. And for the longest, before I came Rodan, all I did was detailed drawing, pencil drawings, and they were pretty good. They were pretty good. Met another artist by the name of Emery Franklin, love him to death, and he is the reason why I'm here now. He said, hey, I love your drawings, but you need to start painting.
Okay. Why did he say that?
Because he was doing well at it.
Okay. About that money.
Yeah, and I met him at an what is that, African April event. He did the poster, and I met him, and he said, "Man, I've seen your drawings. They're great, but I'm in this big room. They're celebrating him, and he did this painting of the actual poster, and I'm looking at the success. I'm looking at it. You don't have to explain it. I'm looking at it. Oh man, they're making this big deal over him and this whole thing of him doing the painting." And he said, "But you really need to start doing painting." I said, "Emmer, I hate it. I hate it in Memphis-based. It was messy. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand color. It was I just could control it." I said, "I hated it." And he said, "Yeah, but you need to start painting." And I'm looking like, okay, all these people here celebrating this guy and his work, and which is just phenomenal. Okay, I will. So I took an entire year off, didn't do anything, just relearn everything that I was taught at Memphis College of Art, which was over 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So I took a whole year off, studied other artists, their approach, and their mediums and what they use and brush strokes and whatnot. I just took an entire year off just to study it. And then that next year, that's when I started to buy all the things that I needed to actually do my painting. But now it's like, I fell in love with it. And then the notoriety and things came later to where I am now. And I thank God for where I am now. But I fell in love with the process first. Yeah. And there are a lot of artists out there, they say, "Man, I'm not selling anything. Man, I see you doing this." I said, "Well, there's a long process. It was a 7-year process to get here. It didn't happen yesterday. There was a long process. The thing is, I enjoyed the process. A lot of artists see here, but they didn't see here, and nowhere near in the middle. So they're looking at where I am now, and they're like, "Man, this is what I want," but you have to go through the process, and you have to enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy the process, you're going to quit.
Okay. And isn't that amazing? Because, you were fighting that need to learn how to paint for the longest.
For the longest.
You was
Hated
like,
it.
I'm not,
Hated it.
And look at you thriving to this day.
I wouldn't do anything else. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And you have to love what you do. And you will hear me say this a lot. If you don't enjoy the process, even in a painting, there's a foundation. There's a good drawing behind it, and then you build from there, and it takes time. Normally, a painting would take about a good 17, 18, 20 hours, just straight work. And you can get lost in that process if you don't respect it or enjoy it. Because every time I do something, I'm taking notes. I'm learning. I'm taking pictures. Oh, okay, this works. That doesn't work. Okay, I like that. And if you don't enjoy that process, you will soon get lost in what you're doing, and you'll quit. That's what most artists do. They quit.
Is that where some of the terminology of struggling artists comes from? Like, where does that term come from?
I don't know.
Why do people say that?
I never experienced it.
You never experienced it?
No. Because here's the thing. For years, my saying was pushing paint. I wasn't trying to actually chase anything like notoriety or money. I just wanted to get a self-fulfillment of actually doing my work. And I fell in love with that. And I put it out there. My first painting that I put out there was like 7 years ago. Yeah, 7 years ago, I did my first painting of a Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
How did you choose to paint Marvin?
Well, first of all, it's Marvin Gaye.
Marvin Gaye, I'm sorry.
It's Marvin Gaye. I mean, why would you not paint Marvin Gaye? But and saying that, I wanted to do somebody who really what I'm looking for. The actual somebody who stood for black folks. He was talented. He was and I love the latter Marvin who became conscious. And and that's one thing about my art. I do a lot of pictures of people who done something like huge for Black culture, and I like to tell their story and continue to tell their story. And a lot of times when I do a piece of someone, they say, "Who is that?" There's a conversation. There's a conversation. This is the first Black. This is the first Black woman. This is the first Black, and there's that conversation. So anybody who's done anything for Black folks, from civil rights to music to literature, whatever that is, I want to continue to tell their story by doing a piece of them and keep that conversation going and keep their education going on what these people did for us.
Yes.
So that's a lot of my subject matter does cover Black artists or Black civil rights and so forth. So.
Okay. Well, Rodan, we're going to get more into some of your current work, and we're going to get into also how the name Rodan came up when we come back from this break right here on the Verbally Effective Podcast. Hey guys, we're back here on the Verbally Effective Podcast. Your host, Ina Esco, and I'm here with Memphis-based artist Rodan. Rodan, let's talk about this name, because I feel like Rodan is giving me some ambiance, and I don't know if that's your government name, but how did we come up with Rodan?
Well, it's actually part of my government name. My actual name is Daniel Ross. Friends and family call me Danny. So Rodan came from one, Augusta Francois Rodan, which is spelled Rodin, spelled in pronounced in French, Rodan. One of my favorite artists. He was mostly known for the sculpture, so like the Thinker, the Gates of Hell. One of my favorite artists, Rodan. So I said, cool. My last name is Ross, R-O. My first name is Daniel, D-A-N, Rodan. That's how I came up with Rodan.
I got you. And you said one of your favorite artists is Rodan.
Yeah.
And he comes from the Gates of Hell and the...
One of the two most famous things that he did, sculpture-wise, was the Thinker and this huge, massive sculpture, like wall size, called the Gates of Hell. So.
Okay. And what's so intriguing about that to you?
It's one of the things I couldn't master or never really just tried at sculpture. And one thing I did, I studied a lot of his drawings. He had some crazy, awesome drawings. And that's one thing I stress to all artists. Your drawings will dictate how well your painting, that is the foundation. You have to have a strong base knowledge of drawing in order to build your piece. So everything that I do, there's a strong pencil drawing before I literally start to paint. So you have to perfect that. You literally, and I will say this, you can learn how to draw. You can. It's proven. I've done it with my son. I've got two boys, Ian and Daniel. Daniel's junior. He has the talent, just like me. Ian, no, he does not.
But he can learn.
I taught him.
Ooh,
I taught him. And I taught him. It's like, if you think about it, when we were born, we could not write. We had to be taught shapes, whatnot. And then muscle memory, and you write. It's the same concept with drawing. So you're expressing yourself not with words, but you're expressing yourself with lines, shapes, and forms to build a picture. And you literally can learn how to draw. And I am going to start a drawing class here at some point. I've been saying it for a year now. And people's like,
gotta do it. Is it for adults or for kids or
for
both?
Adults?
Okay.
For adults. And the reason I want to do something for adults is that it truly enhances your cognitive ability when you're using your creative side. I solely believe in that. How do you fight dementia and Alzheimer's and things like that? You have to exercise the brain. It's just like your muscles. You have to exercise that. And you also have to exercise your creativity. And you do that through drawing or just being creative. So I truly believe that if people started to exercise that right side of the brain, then you're trying to figure out, like, oh man, how did this guy think of this? You know, in just normal work situations, like you're in the boardroom, you're bouncing ideas around, and this person over here who's probably not as educated as anybody else, but they're using this side versus that side. Nothing that was taught. It just comes purely from creativity. And I truly believe that drawing will enhance that. So,
Yes.
you know, it's so many problems you can solve just by using creativity on this side.
That's
Not
true.
on this side. This is taught. This is taught. Over here, just comes out like that.
Yeah.
So you have to exercise that. So I truly believe that you can just get rid of. And I'm not gonna say get rid of Alzheimer's or anything like that, but I think you truly can fight it
Yeah.
if you just stay active on that side of your brain.
Stay
Truly.
active. Now you just told me you taught Ian how to draw Rodan. I have a son, a 17-year-old that's an artist. I knew it very early on when he was young, right?
Mm-hmm.
That boy was fighting that gift he had for so long, and now he's back utilizing it, and he done started his own T-shirt line with his art on the back.
Yes. Oh, I love
but
that.
Mama had to keep on. Well,
love that.
baby, pick up the sketch pad.
Yes, and that's one thing I do tell parents. Always encourage them.
Mm-hmm.
Always encourage them. They may drop it, like I did, like your son did.
I did.
Yeah, it happens.
Drop it
That's what you
cold,
do. Yeah,
got into something else.
exactly. Because you have so many competing things going on in the world that it will pull you from your natural ability or the things that you naturally can do, because you're chasing something over here that's shiny, and it's only going to be shiny for a while until it gets dull, and then you chase that. But what you should be chasing is what you naturally, that God-given gift, whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
And you know what? I want to ask you this. Do you frequent a lot of art shows here in Memphis?
I don't. Not at this point now. Probably because I'm like crazy busy. So I don't.
Yeah, but
I don't.
but you've been to an art show
Yeah.
a time or two.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: as an artist and a lover of art, what is the first thing you look at when you look at a piece of art? Is there something specific that you're looking at? Because you see, let's just say we're watching a show on TV and they're at an art show. It looks like it's a science behind this. When you go to an art show and you figure the painting out, like you said, it's a conversation to be had.
Yeah.
Is it just a conversation? Oh, well, that looks like they're doing this, or I love those colors. What is it about it?
So if it's something nondescript or like an abstract, then I'm not looking at it, but I'm looking at it, if that makes sense. I'm literally trying to see what's leading my eye, what
stands out?
Yeah, what stands out. I'm looking at form. I'm looking at shape. Is it visually interesting? If it's not, I don't have to say it's not visually interesting. I'm just not looking at it. I'm looking at something else. If it's a person of celebrity or whatever it is, then I'm looking for anatomically correctness.
What is that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anatomically correctness. I like that word.
That's a big word.
Break it down for me.
I press myself. So one thing that you'll notice in a lot of my work, a lot of the cigar pieces that I do, you have hands. That's only hands and whatnot. Which hands, facial features and whatnot is the hardest thing to draw. Period. Period. You master that, you can do anything else. You master that.
Have you mastered that?
I would think I have.
Okay.
I would think I'm trying to
Say
be modest.
yes.
I'm sorry. I'm trying.
You being real modest,
I
Rodan.
would say so. Yeah, because I studied that like in high school. The first thing I drew really was some hands holding the world. I still had it in my studio right now, and I just like to go back and look at it.
My son has a piece with his hands in the world.
Yes, and tell him to keep it. Yeah, tell him to keep it, and tell him to also just continue to do that. Draw and practice with hands. So when you draw a hand, it should look like a hand. The fingers should be anatomically correct. The facial features should be anatomically correct. How do you figure that out? If you draw something or paint something, take it and put it in the mirror. The mirror will, I don't know why. The mirror will really just show, oh, that's off, this off, that's off. I don't know why. figure that out one time. Back at home when I was back, like 30 years ago, I just put the piece up. Oh man, God, that's not right. To the eye, it's fine, but when you put it in the mirror, that image bounces back. That reflection, it shows imperfections. I don't know why, but it does. So you just practice, and when you master anatomically correctness, you can draw anything.
Okay.
You can draw anything. Anatomically, I just like saying
Anatomically
that.
correctness, honey.
I just like saying that.
Now, let's talk about portraits. You do a lot of those?
I do. I've got a pretty nice backlog of portraits that I have. One in particular, just 2 weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, a client said, "Hey man, I saw your work at Robusto. I have this picture that I want you to paint." And I met him up there. And he had this picture from 1973 of his dad smoking a cigar. I said, "Oh man, that's so cool." And it's a picture from 1973, so it's grainy and distorted. I put it through my app to clean it up, and stuff like that I just love. Because one thing that's challenging. It's challenging because I got to fill in the blanks. When you fill in the blanks, that enhances your skills. It enhances your skills, you get better at what you do. So anything that's a challenge, I take it on.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I do quite a bit of those.
Has all of your customers been pleased with those portraits?
You know, yeah, but not pleased. Here's the thing. I had some clients from Texas. It was of him, his wife, and I painted them to the T. It was not only anatomically correct, it was them correct. And I said, "Wait a minute, that's nice. I love it. However, take that chin off. Shave that nose down just a little bit. Take those wrinkles out just a little bit." I said, "Okay, they want them 10 years ago. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, that's fine." So I've not said, "Oh, that's not me," and before I release it to them, I mean, I've got to be satisfied with it. Now, if I'm satisfied with it, and then I release it. But typically, I'll let them look at it. If any changes, because they know their parents or whoever they are, I don't know them. You know what they look like. I'm going off this picture, and that's the only thing I got to go on. So if there's some changes, I'll allow those. I welcome those because I want their work, their piece to be exactly how they
wanted you to brush them junks up like they do now, like they do on Instagram. Well, you know, like Kim Kardashian, she got to get her stuff touched up.
Yes, and I had to make that chin a little longer, take a few age wrinkles out. Okay, that's fine. I can do that. No problem. No problem.
Well, Rodan, let's talk about this piece behind us of rap artists that we lost not too long ago.
Yes.
My boy Young Dolph. How did this picture all come about? I think it's absolutely amazing.
I wanted to do something. For those who know my work, I typically do artists or celebrities in my signature colors, like the purples, the blues, the oranges, and yellows, and whatnot. I said, let me do this. I've never done this. Let me do one of Dolph, of a celebrity who's gone, and natural skin tone. This is the first. This is the first time actually doing that. He had a great skin tone, dark skin, nice dark skin brother. Had a great rich, so I wanted to practice and play with skin tones, and that's how that came out. I think it came out pretty good.
It did. It really did.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what? You should show. Have you shared this with his family? Have you?
No. You know what? I don't repost or download to my website, just out of respect. If someone commissions me to do a piece of Dolph, fine, we'll collaborate on it. But just out of respect, I just feel that I don't want to profit off of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't really just do sell T-shirts with my work on it, with his image on it. I just out of respect. So
Right, right. Now, when I was reading the information that you sent me prior to us sitting here today, I saw that you focused on loose realism. What does that mean?
So it's how a kind of like a technique that you use, not exactly coloring inside the lines, but not getting out to the point where it starts to get distorted and you don't know what this is. So it's a balance. It's a balance. But the thing is now it's like my work is tightened up. It's not as loose. It's gotten pretty tight.
Tight
And
realism.
yeah,
Anatomically.
and
Anatomically.
anatomically
Tight.
correct.
Yes.
Yes, tight realism. I like that. Now I think that's. I may go with that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
I'll
welcome.
Go with that. I'll go
Oh,
with that.
wow. Now, I know you have a huge love for hip hop. Tell me how hip hop and art merges for you in your life.
Wow. First of all, I fell in love with hip hop. 1976, June 7th, at the Mid-South Coliseum.
You know the date.
It was hot, but not too hot. I had on my Adidas tracksuit. I had on my Adidas with the fat laces, going to a Run DMC concert.
You was ready.
Ready. Who headlined him? Houdini and LL Cool J. I fell in love. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Unforgettable.
Oh. It was. I fell in love with hip hop then.
Okay.
And now, in my studio, I listen to old school hip hop in my studio.
So that inspires you as you
It does.
work.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It's. I don't know why it flows. I don't know why it works. It's. I really can't explain it. And the one thing I do love doing is to. And I think you know Brother John of 88.5. We'll throw these pop-ups or pop-offs where he's DJing and I'm painting, and he's playing all these dope old school hip hop songs, and I'm just in my element. I got a crowd behind me. I forgot they were there. I'm like this, and forgot anything was going on. I'm rocking to what he's playing. That is my element. That is my element, and that is what I do in my studio.
Gotcha.
So, and that's one thing when I do those live paintings, I'm literally sharing with the world live with what I do in my studio. It's the same process, except for I've got a whole bunch of folks back there watching it.
Gotcha.
So that whole thing, I just set my radio to old school hip hop and just paint away.
Gotcha.
Paint away. That is my happy place.
Well, Rodan, how can people purchase your art, and how can they continue to follow your journey?
Yeah, reach out to me. Social media, Rodan64 IG, Rodan Ross on Facebook, and my website. You can actually purchase some stuff on my website, rodanart.com, and you go in there and choose whatever format you want, and just buy whatever. Reach out to me, and if you got like a specific project, which I love those. You know, I love working with people. They always throw me these crazy challenges, and that's what makes me better. So just reach out to me, and we will make it happen. We'll collaborate and make your piece happen. A one-off piece. We can make it happen. We can make it happen.
Amazing. Any advice or last words for up and coming artists?
Practice, 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 practice. Don't worry about who's looking. Don't worry about who sees it. Don't worry about likes. Don't worry about comments. Perfect your craft and enjoy the process. Again, I'm saying it again. If you don't enjoy the process, you're going to get bored and you're going to drop it. And you may be cutting that off right at that point where you're going to, find that happy place. Whatever your happy place is. If you just want to be creative and just do your own art just for your own house, or if you're trying to get notarized or whatever, fine. But practice, and enjoy the process. You gotta
enjoy the process.
process.
Well, thank you so much, Rodan, for joining me today on the Verbally Effective Podcast. You have definitely been a treat, Mr. Anatomically correct. Mr. Tight Realism.
Tight realism.
Thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you all for tuning in to yet another episode of the Verbally Effective Podcast. Please subscribe on all streaming platforms and at Ina Esco YouTube channel as well. Thanks.
This is the Spotlight Podcast Network.